Hello everyone, welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. My name is Josh. Coming up on today's show, I'll be discussing and giving my opinions on the game which has just finished between Watford and Leicester City in the Premier League down at Vicarage Road. You can follow me on my personal YouTube channel, which is Sportsa. All my social media links will be in the description down below. Make sure you follow Leicester Fan TV on all social medias. You can find us at Leicester Fan TV on all of them. If you are watching today's video on YouTube, make sure you drop a like and also subscribe. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers, so if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. But without further ado, let's get into my match review for Watford versus Leicester City. So, of course, it has finished at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Leicester City 1. A disappointing result in our first game back, of course, behind closed doors. Going into the game, I did expect Leicester to try and grab all 3 points to try and secure a spot in Champions League football, but it was a very, very eventful game. It was looking like that we were going to get the 3 points until Craig Dawson managed to score on a bicycle kick. I still can't work out how he managed to do that, but of course, it was a very, very eventful ending to the game. Of course, Chilwell striking at an absolute wonder strike in the 90th minute, and Craig Dawson replying with an absolute brilliant goal in the 93rd minute as well, rescuing a point for Watford at home. But on the balance of play, it was very up and down. It wasn't the best of the game, so overall, a point was probably deserved in the end. But of course, with Leicester challenging for Champions League football next season, these are the type of games we simply need to win. It's getting very close to teams like Chelsea catching us up, and this game could prove to be absolutely vital in our race for Champions League football next season. I'm still confident that Leicester will manage to secure a Champions League spot, but these are the type of games we simply need to win. And with the manner of how the game went late on, we really should have held on and managed to get 3 points away from today's game at Vicarage Road. But like I said, if you look at the whole game, a point was probably deserved because it wasn't the best of performances from Leicester. But as a top 4 side, we need to be winning these sort of games heading into the remainder of the season. But like I said, Leicester's performance today wasn't the greatest in my opinion. I thought Leicester found it really difficult to get into the games at times. But obviously, with the game being played behind closed doors, I think it was always going to be a very cagey affair, and it proved right. First half, it was very up and down. Leicester dominated for the first 20 minutes or so, but then Watford really came into it. I thought the game management today by Leicester wasn't really the best, especially if it looked like a winner in the 90th minute, but somehow we managed to concede it a couple of minutes later, which I still can't work out how we didn't just hold on in the end to secure, which could have been a massive 3 points away from home to help us secure Champions League football. And overall, it really wasn't the greatest of performances today by Leicester. But Leicester did look very good at some times, especially in the first 20 minutes or so. I think we caused Watford a lot of problems. Jamie Vardy had a few chances, so did Tielemans, so did James Maddison. And also, towards the end of the game, I think Leicester looked fairly good as well. I think Demarai Gray had an absolutely brilliant game today. He's a brilliant impact substitution from Brendan Rodgers. So I think we showed some signs of promise, but hopefully we can just carry that through and keep the run of play going throughout the 90 minutes for the remaining games of the season. But like I said, a point is not the worst result today against Watford away from home. But of course, with the man of defeat, it's very, very disappointing that we didn't take 3 points away from today's game. Very, very frustrating. I was at the time, of course, Ben Chilwell, the absolute delight of him scoring late on. We thought he won it from an absolute wonder strike, and then Craig Dawson just went down the other end and produced a brilliant strike as well to make it 1-1. So in the man of defeat, it's a very disappointing result. It does feel like a loss, but a point, like I said, it's not the worst result today. And it could have gone the other way, but to be perfectly honest, I think Leicester, in the way the game went, we really should have took 3 points away from today's game, of course, with Chilwell's late strike. But of course, Brendan Rodgers had to make a few changes heading into the game. If you look at his team he selected for today's game against Watford, of course, James Justin came in at right back for the injured Ricardo Pereira, and Michael Brighton came in the right wing spot for the injured Ayoze Perez. I think most people went with this lineup, and it was a fairly strong lineup heading into the game. I think at some parts it worked well, but I think a change was needed, especially with the 5 substitutions. I think Brendan only used 5 or so, which I really can't understand. I think Watford used all 5, and I think if we can utilise the 5 substitutions for the rest of the season, it could work well. I think we need to make a few changes on the stroke of half-time, especially with how the game was going. Leicester were really struggling at the half-time break, and I think the half-time break really came at the right time for the Foxes. I think if we introduced Demarai Gray early on, it could have been a different story. I think Demarai Gray was absolutely brilliant today, but I guess it's the first game. It's going to be difficult to try and manage. I think Brendan did quite a good job in introducing Demarai Gray and Kelechi Iheanacho. But moving into the game itself then, so Leicester started off fairly well, like I've been saying, in the first 20 minutes or so. We did cause Watford quite a few problems. Jamie Vardy had a good chance, so did Tielemans, but our shooting in the first 20 minutes or so wasn't really the greatest. Then Watford really did grow into the game. They had a couple of big chances late on in the half. Kasper Schmeichel was absolutely brilliant today as well. I think Wilfred Ndidi lost the ball, and it's a big chance for Sarge. Kasper made a good save. So overall, first half was was mixed. Of course, Watford came into it late on, but overall, yeah, it was a very balanced first half. Both sides having big chances. So it ended 0-0 at half time. The first half was very much a half or two halves basically. Of course, Leicester dominating one and Watford dominating the other. But moving on to the second half, Brentford made no changes heading into the second half, and Watford did carry on with their pressure. They had a brilliant chance from Rousseau, who went 1-on-1, and another absolutely cracking save from Kasper Schmeichel. But Demarai Gray did get introduced, and it absolutely changed the game. Gray, of course, he's been getting a lot of stick this season, but he looked absolutely brilliant when he came on, in my opinion. Really direct, taking players on, taking shots, and we just didn't have that through Harvey Bonds, who I thought had a very, very poor game today. Kelechi Iheanacho also came on. Leicester had a couple of huge chances. Mark Albrighton getting played through from Demarai Gray, smashing it against the post, and literally a few seconds after that, James Maddison had a shot, and it was a good save from Ben Foster, and Leicester were really getting at the door. 90th minute, Demarai Gray spreads the play to Chilwell. Chilwell with an absolutely wonderful strike into the top right-hand corner. Couldn't have got it any more into the top right-hand corner. Then Watford just piled on the pressure, won a corner, and Craig Dawson somehow just managed to produce a bicycle kick somehow. I don't know how he did it. It was poor defended by Leicester. It was chaos in the box, and he managed to poke it past Schmeichel. Kasper nearly saved it, but it just went in off the post, and overall it finished at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Leicester City 1. So that's it for my general thoughts on today's game against Watford. So let's get straight into my player ratings. We're on the side which started today against Watford down at Vicarage Road. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below, do you agree with my decisions, do you not? Let me know down below and put your player ratings in the comment section down below. But without further ado, starting off in goal with Kasper Schmeichel. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I thought Kasper had an absolutely brilliant game today against Watford. Of course, you couldn't really do too much about Dawson's late goal because I don't think anyone really expected Craig Dawson to do that. He made some absolutely crucial saves, so from Sarr, especially in the first half when Wilfred Ndidi lost it, he made a crucial save then. And also in the second half when Sarr went through on goal, 1-on-1, Kasper made an absolutely crucial save for you. So yeah, Kasper had an absolutely brilliant performance today, and his kicking was pretty good as well. So yeah, a very, very good performance from the Danish international today. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Moving into the back four then, to start off at right back with James Justin. I'm going to give the youngster a 6 out of 10. I know it sounds harsh, but I thought in the second half he just didn't really do too much, made a few mistakes. I know he's only young. It was a decent performance from the youngster. I think in the first half he had a pretty good performance. He looked very comfortable on the ball, tried some things out. He made a couple of mistakes, but that's alright with the youngster. He needs to be confident to try things like that, and James Justin's got that. But in the second half he just didn't really seem to be involved too much. Defensively he was alright, but going forward as a modern day fullback, I think he needs to offer a bit more going forward. But yeah, I'm going to give James Justin a 6 out of 10. Moving into the two centre-backs then, to start off the right one with Johnny Evans, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. It was a solid performance from Johnny Evans today. He made some good tackles at times. He didn't really do anything wrong. I think with Watford's goal in the corner, I think the defence could have dealt with that a bit better, but obviously later on it was a scramble in the box, and somehow Dawson managed to pull that out. So yeah, fair play to Craig Dawson. It was a very good goal. I don't think Johnny Evans or the defence could have really done too much about that, but I think if Leicester just managed to clear it a bit better, it would have helped out. But yeah, I'm going to give Johnny Evans a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the other centre-back with the main man, the absolute Turkish god, Kaglat Soyuncu. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 as well. I thought it was a decent performance from Kaglat Soyuncu, same as Johnny Evans. Him and Johnny always seem to have a decent performance. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for the two centre-halves. Moving on to left-back with Ben Chilwell. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. His goal absolutely saved him because his performance today wasn't the best. Apart from that, his crossing, he got forward a bit well, which fair play to him, but his end product just wasn't there. But at least Chile's getting forward now. Defensively, he was very good as well, but that goal, what a strike that was from Ben Chilwell. That strike alone just boosts him up. So I'm going to give Ben Chilwell an 8 out of 10. It was a great performance from him, and his finish, I did say his end product was bad, but that end product from that shot wasn't bad at all. So yeah, fair play to Chile. What a strike that was. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for Ben Chilwell for his performance today against Watford. Moving on to the midfield three then, to start off with Wilfred Ndidi playing in that defensive role. I'm going to give Wolf a 7 out of 10. It wasn't the best of performances from Wolf today. It's on the edge of 6 to 7. It wasn't the best of performances, like I said, from Wilfred Ndidi today. Obviously, he was there at times. He was good. He was doing the right thing. He was cutting the passing lanes, but at times he didn't make the right decisions with his passing, so he put some stupid tackles in sometimes. He gave away a lot of fouls in today's game. So it wasn't the best of performances from Wolf, but it wasn't the worst. It was average. So I'm going to give Wolf a 7. It's nearly a 6, but I'm just going to boost it up to a 7 for Wilfred Ndidi. Moving on to the other centre midfielder with Youri Tielemans, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. It was another poor performance from Youri today. Just very, very slow on the ball as per usual. I think he had some good moments in the game, but he just didn't really get hold of the ball at times. I think the midfield needed to be more behind Jamie Vardy at times. He played the ball forward and there was no one there. Vardy had to hold the ball up and the attack was gone because Watford just got back as well. So I think the midfield needs to get there, and Youri Tielemans does thrive in that position nearer to Jamie Vardy. We saw it last season. Him and Maddison need to be further up the pitch. Them two were dropping way too deep to try and pick up the ball. But it was a poor performance from Yuri today, but average at best. So I'm going to give Yuri a 6 out of 10 for his performance today against Watford. Moving into the other centre midfielder with James Maddison, I'm also going to give him a 6 out of 10. I know it sounds harsh, but I have to be realistic here, boys. It wasn't the best of performances from Maddison. I think he needs to get further forward. I said it in my live watch along. He just needs to be behind Vardy. At times he's dropping even deeper than Wilfred and Ndidi to pick the ball up, and that's Ndidi's job and Tielemans' job. Maddison needs to be right behind Vardy in front, receive the ball on the half turn and play Vardy through. It worked last season. It's worked this season. I don't know why he keeps dropping too deep. Fair enough if he's been instructed to do that, but I really don't get that. But it wasn't the best of performances from Maddison, so I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 for his performance today against Watford. And finally, moving into the front three, then to start off in the left wing position with Harvey Bonds. I'm going to give Harvey a 5 out of 10. I thought it wasn't a good performance from the youngster today. Really liked Emperor. He just didn't really have the time to get forward. He didn't really make any runs. And he just didn't really, I don't know with Harvey Bonds, it was just a poor performance in general from him. Didn't really do too much on the track back as well. He was out of position quite a few times today, was young Harvey Bonds. It's disappointing to see because he's been absolutely brilliant this season. Hopefully he can turn it around. But a quick mention, Demarai Gray, I thought was absolutely brilliant when he came on. Offered way more direct, cutting in, taking shots, and that's what you need. If you don't shoot, you don't score. So even though Demarai Gray does take some stupid shots sometimes, if you don't shoot, you're never going to score. So fair play to Demarai Gray, but it wasn't the best of performances from Harvey Bonds. So I'm going to give Harvey a 5 out of 10. Moving into the right wing position with Mark Albrighton, I'm going to give Mark a 6 out of 10. I thought it wasn't the best of performances from Mark Albrighton. He always gives 100% fair play, but he just didn't really seem to do too much. I think the front three was overall pretty poor in today's game. Didn't really get the service either. So I'm going to give Mark a 6 out of 10. On the track back, he was good, helping out the youngster James Justin, but overall it wasn't the best of performances from Mark Albrighton. And finally, moving up front with Jamie Vardy, I'm also going to give him a 6 out of 10. It's probably not Vardy's fault, but he was very isolated. I mentioned it earlier. The balls get playing through. It was good balls. Got put out wide. He had to wait about 10 seconds for the midfielder and the wingers to catch up. And I don't understand why the midfield and the defence and the attack, and the strikers is so far apart. It's way too far apart. I think Vardy was very isolated. From the first 20 minutes or so, he was a bit involved, had a couple of shots here and there, but it just wasn't Jamie Vardy's day. So I'm going to give Vardy a 6 out of 10 for his performance today against Watford. So that is it for today's match review. It's finished Watford 1, Leicester 1. A disappointing result today down at Vicarage Road. But we move on to Brighton and Hove Albion next up at the King Power Stadium. They got a 2-1 win against Arsenal today, so it's not going to be easy at all, but I'm fairly confident that we can turn things around against Brighton back at the King Power Stadium. So I'm looking forward to that one. It's coming very soon, Tuesday for that one, Leicester fans. So hopefully we can get the 3 points from that game against Brighton. But that is it for today's match review. Leave a like if you are watching YouTube. Subscribe to Leicester Fan TV if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday for Leicester City versus Brighton. But yeah, keep it Leicester City and up the Foxes.